question that has to be asked is this run defense this year has not given up much, especially these last two games. So against Georgia Tech, is there a little bit more of an emphasis on it, or is it business as usual, or how would you describe it?
I think it'll be business as usual just because they run the triple option, so that's just discipline. They're going to try to run the ball God knows how many times a game. So I think it's just going to be business as usual. If everyone plays their keys and does what they have to do, we'll be fine.
I've heard defensive linemen talk about eye candy specifically when it comes to Georgia Tech. When you hear that, what sticks out to you? Is it the motions? Is it certain things offensive linemen do? Or is it something beyond that people don't really realize?
I'm not really sure. I've never heard that term, but I'm sure it could be used for this game, obviously, because they motion and do a lot of stuff. But what we're taught is to read our keys. So if we're not reading our keys, we're not playing right. So I'm going to do the same thing I do every single week.
Does it start with taking the dive play away from them for you guys in the middle?
Yeah, absolutely. That was going to be our number one play for the people in the middle. If we take away that play, everybody else will be able to do their job.
How do you effectively do that?
By not getting cut, not getting driven off the ball, reading my keys, putting my hands on blockers and striking them and just fitting my gap.
You know, everybody says when they play Georgia Tech that the key is to stay true to your assignment and not do your job and not somebody else's job. But it seems like for a lot of teams that's easier said than done. What makes that so challenging against them?
It makes it so challenging just because you play a team like that once a year. If you played that team 6 or 7 times a year, it'd be a lot easier. But having to go from you being able to have one type of defense and you're able to kind of freelance a little bit and make that mistake once in a while, your discipline kind of gets kind of slackish. So having a team to where you can't do that at all, it obviously creates problems for teams. But I think we'll be fine.
How does their line kind of stack up? I mean, I know with BC it's a little bit of a similar offense, but different. Is their line similar to BC, different, or is their line kind of a different animal altogether?
I think it's just different. Just the way they come off the ball and their objectives, I think it's just completely different.
Big line, regular size line?
Regular size. It's a little bit bigger.
What's been the biggest key for improvement on run defense? Because I think the average yards per game is like half of what it was last year.
I really couldn't tell you, to be honest. I'm just my teammates were basically just doing what we're coached, so I really don't know if there's a difference or something like that. I think we're playing well, but besides that, I really don't know.
But is there a difference in the approach, maybe?
Maybe. To be honest, like I really don't have a definitive answer for that. I just think we're playing pretty well.
It's really just because you're playing again.
I would love for that to be the reason, but no, I think everybody's just doing their job.
How much is depth at defensive tackle and really just along your line really helped this year in terms of, just being able to keep guys fresh and kind of keep opponents struggling?
Yeah, I think it's been really important, especially the quality of depth that we've had. I think it's been great. So for us to be able to, especially run into the ball and get into the ball, that tires our defense. So being able to get fresh bodies in there at 300 pounds, stuff like that, I think it's been a huge help.
Now you had a stretch there, I think maybe in the third quarter, where you had a sack, you had a pass deflection, and you had what I thought was a tackle for loss. I guess they gave the kid no gain. That I think that 3 out of 4 plays. Was that? I guess what was that stretch like for you? I mean, when you're in a place like that where you're making plays so steadily, are you even aware? Or are you just really dialed in? What is that like?
I really didn't even know it was in the same series until a couple series after, but I just did what I was coached to do. The 2 series before that, I hadn't done anything, to be honest. I played my keys really well and did all that stuff, but I had really not much production. So for that series to come on and for me to go back to back to back to back, it's just a true testament on you playing your technique and doing it right, and you make a play when it comes.
When you're having success like that, I mean, do you feel it wearing down on an offensive lineman that you're getting the better of them consistently?
Absolutely. You could literally see it in their face, as you're walking up to the line, or as we switch out and we go back to nickel and I'm running back on the field and I'm looking at them and they're just like, all right, well, here we go again. So absolutely, and you kind of have to enforce it. You kind of have to embrace it and take that as an advantage and hone in on it.
How do you guys kind of encourage each other on the D-line? Is it like, all right, DeMarcus, you're trying to make a play now, all right, your turn, Pew, what's up, what you got now? I mean, how do you guys kind of encourage each other?
I don't think we don't really do too much of that. It's just when someone makes a play, it doesn't matter really who made it. We're all going to be happy for that person. So us playing as a team and us playing as a family, I think we all want to just do well, and we know that everybody's going to be happy for them. So that's encouragement enough, I think.